Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week. Small business getting a break on vandalism. Concerns over needle exchange programs in prisons. Keeping an eye and an ear on Duane Watson in the upcoming BC CMAs and the BC Sports Hall of Fame welcoming a Chilliwack legend. We'll have that coming up in sports. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Small business throughout British Columbia will soon be able to apply for funding to help recover costs from vandalism and for vandalism prevention. Businesses will be able to apply for as much as $2,000 a business for the cost of repairs and $1,000 for prevention measures. Applications are retroactive to January 1st of this year to help businesses recoup costs that were incurred this year. Now, this rebate program is going to be administered by the BC Chamber of Commerce. The union representing prison officials says its members are very concerned about the safety of staff and inmates over a needle exchange program that's proposed by Correctional Service. They say it comes after an inmate at the medium security Mountain Institution in Agassiz died last week from what was believed to be a fentanyl overdose. John Randall is the regional president of the Union of Canadian Correctional Officers and says providing access to needles for inmates to inject their drugs alone in their cells does nothing to curb or treat addiction. The union instead advocating for OD prevention sites in prisons. Now, the Fraser Valley has a number of these institutions in Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Mission, and in Agassiz. Throughout the country, let alone the Valley, you're now seeing the sale of poppies and the fundraisers for the Royal Canadian Legion. Campaign funds pay for housing for veterans as well as gift cards for local businesses and bursaries for high school students who have a military thread. Now, here in Chilliwack, that connection comes through the CFB Chilliwack Museum. Now, still on the military, and with Remembrance Day, a legacy walk on the former grounds of CFB Chilliwack comes up this Saturday starting at 9 in the morning. Veteran Jim Harris will be guiding you through a walk into the history behind the former base. This will start at Waves Coffee House in Garrison near the Save On Foods in Vetter. And admission is free. The walk takes about 90 minutes, rain or shine, and be prepared for the weather. Community organizations are invited to apply for annual grants that support projects that tackle racial inequity and foster intercultural understanding in British Columbia. Now, for Chilliwack, that means and includes Chilliwack Community Services. Each organization that meets the grant criteria can get up to $5,000 to cover direct costs needed to administer the project. The Vetter River Campground is getting $483,000 for infrastructure upgrades for existing serviced sites and new service sites, with improving customer amenities like public Wi-Fi, recreation, and washroom and shower facilities. Across the province, 31 projects are benefiting from this one-time Destination Development Grant Fund. It aims to make communities competitive with destinations for tourism and then strengthen local economies. Country fans are going to be paying attention to this weekend's BC Country Music Association Awards, the 46th annual, coming up Sunday at the River Rock Casino in Richmond. Chilliwack's own Duane Watson is up for Roots Artist of the Year. We had Duane on the program a couple of weeks ago. You can see that interview on the ChillTV YouTube channel. Cue the Cher song, If I Could Turn Back Time. And no, that's not the real Cher. That's our friend Bonnie Kilroe. But the change to Pacific Standard Time is coming up Sunday morning at 2 a.m., which means we do get an extra hour of sleep. The recurring argument of, do we ever get daylight saving time permanently, won't happen. Now, in Canada, provinces can make that decision on their own. With the U.S., although Washington, Oregon, and California want to make the change, they have to wait for an act of Congress, and considering American politics and their agenda, and they're going into an election year, that's not going to happen. Coming up, from the Chiefs to the Hall of Fame, all of that and more coming up in sports. ChillTV Sports, the BC Sports Hall of Fame revealing its 2024 induction class. Now, joining the honored members in the ranks, which comes up May of 2024, are 5 athletes, 3 builder coaches, 1 team, 1 pioneer, 1 media member, and the winner of the W.A.C. Bennett Award. That goes to a very familiar face in the Valley, Glenn Ringdahl. His resume is rather impressive. He served as the Vancouver Canucks vice president and director of marketing between 1986 and 95, and he helped to create the Canucks Place Children's Hospice. He also secured General Motors as the title of the then new GM place. Then he served as the BC Lions president from 1997 to 2001, increased ticket sales, and basically saved that team. At the same time, he then served as the president of the Vancouver 86ers, which became the Vancouver Whitecaps. He kept that franchise alive. Later, he was the general manager of the Langley Events Centre, which opened in 2008, and then became president of both the BC Hockey League Chilliwack Chiefs and Chilliwack's Prospera Centre. Glenn, congratulations. It was a perfect day for soccer last week at the Community Recreation and Cultural Center in Agassiz, as students from elementary schools in Hope, Agassiz, and the surrounding First Nations came together for a tournament at the CRCC, the culmination of a 5-game season. 6 teams competed in the tournament, and the organizer and phys ed teacher Jeremy Smith said the event was the first of its kind, creating a playing field for anybody interested in elementary school to play. Now, schools that could not put together a boys or girls team separately put together a co-ed team instead. The PGA of BC announcing the winners of their 2023 awards. The Stan Leonard Player of the Year went to Kevin Stinson of Cheam Mountain Golf Course, the event recognizing the province's best in golf. The description of the bursary reads as awarded to an individual or a member facility within the association, demonstrating an extraordinary desire and passion to make a difference in the lives of those around him. And being a pretty good golfer is not bad either. Now, this isn't going to set well with fans of the Langley Rams or the Valley Huskers in the Valley, but congratulations to the West Shore Rebels. I know that's hard to say. They came out with a massive second half to capture the BCFC Championship, beating Okanagan 33-19. The Rebels now host the Saskatoon Hilltops on November 11th, with hopes of capturing the club's first national championship, as well as the third straight for the BC Football Conference. Coming up, Cari and the weather. ChillTV weekend weather. So, Cari, does the time change mean a weather change?
Well, Don, let's not compare apples to oranges right just yet. Our weather next week is going to be pretty nasty, up to maybe 14, but a lot of rain and clouds, and maybe all the way down to 6 next Wednesday. Thursday, we might get some sun, but it looks pretty cloudy to me. So yes, daylight savings is going to end for 2023 on Saturday evening. Fun fact, our Canadian government has participated in daylight savings since 1908. They've also left it up to individual provinces to decide whether or not we're going to keep going with it, and our province has had legislation in place since 2019. But we're waiting for Oregon, Washington, and California to have their ducks in a row. So until then, Don, you get an extra hour of beauty rest. Not sure it's going to help. Back to you.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note and your pictures and video to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. A reminder, it is the time change. Clocks go back 1 hour Saturday night, Sunday morning. So you get an extra hour of sleep. Enjoy. I'm Duane Lehn.